Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington Tea Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan, he's a Corgi, and this is an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And Tristan is so tired today, he's like sliding down my lap because he's exhausted from our trip to the fun dog show. And I too am very tired, both of us. I don't know what it is. I was talking to some other people there. Being in that environment for 3 hours feels like you've been running around in New York City for 10 hours. It's very exhausting being in there. So we're recovering today. You may have seen Tristan's lobster costume, which I posted on Facebook. I have to repost it today in some other places. And he also got to do his dog dancing routine, just a very piece of it, in his Sherlock Holmes costume. We had a couple of wardrobe malfunctions before we went in the ring, so we were a little nervous. It wasn't our best version of that dance, that's for sure. And of course, Mommy was reluctant to practice enough at home. So today I want to talk about something that's really important for pet owners. And I shared a little 2-minute video on Facebook about this maybe 2 weeks ago. And that is a stinky situation. What we have in our houses today are so many scented candles, plug-ins, sprays, polishes, and having just cleaned my house and just washed my hair, I am fully aware of the smells around me now that are toxic and not good. I try to use just like pure lemon oil furniture polish, but the furniture still smells awful, and I can imagine. Luckily, I cleaned the house on the day that it was 60, and I had every window open, so I was able to clear out some of those toxins. But so many people love to burn candles, and candles are one of the most guilty parties of polluting the air in our homes. The indoor air in a home is a tremendous number of times more toxic than any outdoor air. And it builds up in the winter in the northern climates because we don't open windows, similarly to places that use air conditioning in the southern climates. And this level of air pollution can not only harm us, but harm our pets. And one of the things that I find the most toxic are these special candles that are made to eliminate pet odors. They're very strong scented, and whatever it is that's in them makes me violently sick. And I can't imagine a pet being able to tolerate that smell either, with their way more powerful sense of smell than humans. And they're also much smaller and hold toxins in their body differently than we do because of their size and their location, close to the floor, laying on the floor, licking their paws. I actually know personally a dog that died from a Swiffer a few years back, a Labrador, not a little dog. And so many of the chemicals we use to clean our homes that we think are good because they're making our homes clean are actually killing us and our pets and causing cancer. It's really important to reevaluate all of the chemicals in your home frequently because things change. I used to use, Lemon Pledge or some other spray like that to clean the inside of my car. And it smelled fine, it was not a problem, and when the car heated up, it wasn't an issue. I never got sick from it. And then, whatever product it was, they didn't make anymore, or they changed it. And boy, I cleaned my old car one day with that new lemon cleaner, and it was so toxic. It took me days and days to wash out the new improved scent in that lemon scented product that I had used in my car. So you just have to be so aware, even if it's something you've used for years. I am super sensitive to dryer sheets and laundry soap. And all of this came about after I had cancer. After I had chemotherapy 10 years ago, I became I was always sensitive to smells and toxic smells. And many people with migraines are sensitive to light, sound, or smell, or all of the above. For me, it has been smells my whole life. And boy, dryer sheets and dryer washing machine products are really a killer for me. I have a scent-free yoga class that I run because I'm one of many, many people that are really sensitive to smells. And there's a woman that periodically tries to come to my class, and part of her issue is that she's one of those people that uses a ton of soap because she wants things to be clean. She feels like nothing's clean. And so when she walks in the room, I immediately get sick. I get actually anaphylactic shock from the smell of her laundry soap. I actually had to go to the hospital once after class because I was needing some Benadryl or something stronger because my throat was closing up from breathing this woman in a fairly big room for an hour and with the windows open. And so it's really a serious concern for our pets. And one of the other things that I can tell you about from personal experience, I had a cat rescue lady as a client with her cats, and she had many cats. She always adopted the ones with huge medical bills and cats that needed tremendous amounts of care. She was really a wonderful cat adopter, loved her cats. They usually had about 8. And she and her husband resided the house and put in new windows because they were going to, spruce up the place before they got older to retire, and they didn't want to have to be shelling out big bucks for home repairs. So that spring it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. And one day she was going to work a little later than usual, and her husband was prone to headaches and sensitivity. He had been actually feeling okay. Well, one of her cats leaped up to get on her lap and collapsed on the floor and was dead in an instant. And immediately she got all the cats, threw them in the car, and took them to the vet, and this one as well. And they found out that the cat had died from carbon monoxide poisoning. She really was the canary in the coal mine. And what had happened was they had made the house so tight, and then when it rained and the house swelled, it made it even tighter. And so the carbon monoxide that was leaking from their heating system caused the cat to die. And all of the others were treated for carbon monoxide poisoning. One was like hanging by a thread for days. And the lesson from that is, that woman now, even though she's moved to another state, she does not ever have her house in any weather without cracked windows all over the place, because we need that fresh air, and you just don't know. I mean, she's not the first person to redo her siding and windows and have a really tight house and think she's going to save on her bills. So be really careful about that. And this topic also reminds me of a story Bernie Siegel tells. He loves cats and he loves all animals, and he was a subscriber to Cat Fancy magazine, and someone had written a letter to the editor saying, I have news for all of you cat lovers. From my husband and I, we're smokers. This is of course going back like 20 years, but it could still happen today. We're smokers, and we're sad to say we lost our beloved cat to lung cancer from our smoking. And we'd like to ask all cat lovers and pet lovers to please smoke outside to protect their pets. Well, Bernie Siegel read this as a cancer surgeon and a mind-body medicine expert, and he said, wait a minute, if you love your cats, you won't smoke at all, because who's going to take care of them if something happens to you? And those toxins stay on your clothes, and if your cat's sitting on your lap and then licking her paws, she's as much as smoking a cigarette, or you sitting next to her having a cigarette. And cigarettes are very toxic. We all know that. They're terrible, and they're terrible for our pets. And even if you smoke outside, you're still bringing that smoke inside to your animals, and you can be literally killing them because they are so much smaller than we are, and they are living on the floor and on our laps and on our furniture. And upholstery sprays, Febreze is super toxic, and a friend of mine can't even go into a house that's ever used it. She's super sensitive to it. And this is something that a lot of people are told they need because their house might smell like a pet. And the commercials show us, giant sneakers and giant trash can odors, encouraging us to use something to cover up the smell. And pet owners are very sensitive about the potential of smells in their house. I know that cat people often say, oh, I went to her house and I couldn't even smell the litter box. Isn't that a miracle? And that's a big thing because, of course, our cats are using the box indoors for the most part. And so we're very self-conscious, but just baking soda makes such a difference in absorbing smells. And I am reminded also of another story I read in a little book from a essential oil company about a woman who had just unrelenting, horrible migraines and a big family, lots of little children, and just the migraines were so bad. And she became interested in essential oils because she was becoming so sick that she couldn't function. She couldn't take care of her family. And just by chance, she heard about using essential oils, and she started investigating them as cleaning products. And as she started to read the labels, because none of us do that, and she found things like formaldehyde and, all these horrible things in cleaning products, she realized how toxic they were, and she didn't want to hurt her kids. So she threw away all of those products and started using things like peppermint oil to clean the cabinets, and other like lemon oil and things like that to do cleaning on different things in her house. And really within just a few weeks, like 8 weeks, her migraines disappeared. And a lot of her problems were from the smells in her cleaning products in her house. And of course, when you have a household of a lot of small children, you want to keep that bathroom and kitchen spotlessly clean. And you're like, can these oils really help? And they can help. And there are plenty of now really good products that are not, it's just like reading pet food. All natural isn't good enough. It's got to be more than all natural, because chemicals are naturally occurring. So you have to really read the labels, and any good health food store or a co-op or even my supermarkets now have like organic sections. And in there are plenty of cleaning products that are non-toxic, that do use essential oils and other properties in order to kill bacteria. And one thing you need to know is that there are some essential oils that are toxic to cats. Some of the Thanksgiving ones, as I call them, cloves and cinnamon and nutmeg, and they're not really ones you're going to use to clean with anyway. But somebody might say, it's Christmas, a nice time to clean the cabinets with cinnamon, get that smell in the house. And if your cat jumps up there, it's not going to be a good thing for him. Peppermint is really what most people use to clean surfaces in their home. Eucalyptus oil, some of the others. And they are way less toxic for your pets than all of the cleaning products that were probably under your sinks. And I even have Windex under my sink, and I really should get rid of it because I can't use it on anything. If I put it on the car windows, the dog jumps up and he licks the windows. If I put it on the actual house windows that he can reach, he's breathing that in. And there are just so many products on the market now that we need to be super aware of. Candles, the gel things with the sticks in them, those are also really toxic. And candles also, the cheap ones in particular, have a lot of heavy metals in their wicks. And I used to burn a lot of candles in my old house because I didn't have a fireplace, and I wanted that sense of heat and light that they provide. And some of them were nice and some of them weren't. But boy, when I went to move out, there was black scum all over the ceiling from those candles and all along the wall behind where they were. And after I had cancer, I can't stand to burn any candles anymore. I use all of the ones with the LED lights in them now because I can't stand the smell of most candles. And I do remember years ago having a friend when I was a big fan of a very prominent commercial decorator candle, and I had one in my house. Most of them made me sick, but I had one in my house that I thought smelled okay. And when this friend came over, she would call me from downstairs and say, you have to get that candle out of your house or I can't come up. And I would literally have to put the lid on the candle, put it in a plastic bag, take it up to the attic and open all the windows in the room where it had been. And even then, sometimes she'd come in and her face would turn red and she'd swell up from the smell in the room from that commercially popular candle that are sold all over the country. And I'm sure many of us are familiar walking through the mall and smelling those stores like Bed Bath & Beyond and some of the other bath product stores. I don't know that Bed Bath & Beyond sells so many chemically stinky products for your home, but the kind of stores you walk by in the mall that sell bath products and candles, I can't even go in the mall because of those smells. And think about our pets. And just yesterday, I gave Tristan a bath, or 2 days ago, and one of my big problems then was to decide which shampoo to use because it's going to make him smell like that shampoo for a while. And for years, I just used Avalon Organics Lavender Human Shampoo on my dogs, but I didn't really like how it smelled. It is strong and it does stay on them and it is somewhat repellent to insects, so that was a good thing. But I don't have it anymore. And a couple of years ago when I was in New Jersey at my sister's, she had a coconut scented shampoo that is still my favorite for dogs. It's nothing super popular, but It makes him clean. It doesn't dry out his coat. I love how it smells. Neither of us are gagging in the bathroom. And it's really important that we pay attention to the shampoos that we put on our dogs and ourselves. I have a hair conditioner that I like for what it does for my hair, but boy, the smell is just not good for me. I don't know. I'm going to have to stop using it. I only use it occasionally, but still and I think about my dog sitting close to me and breathing that smell. There were some other shampoos I have for dogs, particular ones that I picked up and I took a whiff of, and I was just like, I can't use these. I can't use them. The smell was too much for me and my pet. So think about these products when you're doing laundry and things. I used to visit my mother and I couldn't be in her house because her dryer sheets smelled so toxic to me, even with the window open in the dryer room and me at the other end of the house with a window open in that room. I would still wake up gagging on like my second day there. So be super aware of the sensitivity of the smell that our animals have and the products you're using in your home. It really can be a matter of life and death for your dogs and your cats and you and your kids. So make sure you go through the products you have, read the labels, and if there's stuff in those products that you don't know what they are, like acetate, look it up and see what it says. Is it carcinogenic? You know, we're so lucky that we can Google everything now. What does Joyce say? Oh, the groomers. Yes, yes. People brings dogs to you that smell like cigarettes and mothballs. That is a big problem. And I know that some groomers, one of the groomers I was speaking with this weekend, in fact, is a green groomer. And part of why he wanted to do that is because so many of the perfumes and smells that lots of the groomers use are really toxic, and they make some groomers sick because they're exposed to them all day, plus the dogs. So it's really important that as a groomer, that you're really aware of the products you're using on the dogs for your safety and your pet's safety. And it's true. I mean, people, there's a huge shift, and more and more people are aware of the smells in their homes and the products they use. But it's still an issue. I can't even go in certain aisles of the grocery store when I need to buy my scent-free laundry soap, which is a very good one. I really am happy with my scent-free laundry soap. But boy, I practically literally have to put a clothespin on my nose and run down the aisle and grab it and put my hair up in a ball so that the scents of that aisle won't get on my hair and stick with me for days. So it really is important to think about your pets when you're evaluating the chemicals you use in your home. What are you spraying on your floor? There are so many good alternatives now to the products that we've used to use. And I did find out, interestingly, from my carpenter of all people, that white vinegar kills mold as well as Clorox. And white vinegar, of course, has been well known to be a great cleaning product. And of course, then your house smells like pickles, but that smell dissipates pretty quickly. And white vinegar is a really good product that's safe around animals. You don't want to, of course, dump it on your animal, but it's way better than a lot of other products that we have available. And it cleans windows fairly well, I have to say. And it's easy to look up some other alternatives to use. There are plenty of websites and information about this, and there certainly are lines of products like what is it? Green, Simple Green. They have a whole line of healthy products, and there are many places that sell these non-toxic products online. I don't think it would take you too long to Google them and look them up. Next Generation also makes a whole line of products that are non-toxic. So when you're cleaning your house for the spring cleaning, think about what you're using to do that cleaning with and whether it's going to harm your pets or yourself. And if you have a filter on your house or on your water, change it often to keep things clean in your house. And the most important thing you can do for your pets and yourselves is to open the windows when you can and get some good, clean, fresh air into your house. I used to live by a kind of a busy road, so I would wait till the traffic died down at night and then fling open the windows to get some clean air in there. What is Joyce saying? Oh, she mixes vinegar with water to get the odors off. Yes. Oh yeah, vinegar and water is really good, she says, to get mothball and cigarette smell off of the pets that she grooms. And thank God those dogs are coming to you, Joyce, for regular cleaning and a bath to wash that stuff off their coats periodically. I mean, it's much worse for a cat that never leaves the house and is exposed to those smells of mothballs, which have formaldehyde in them, and also cigarette smoke, which we all know is terrible. And I A lot of people I know that are super sensitive to smells and don't like candles and things like that now are ex-smokers, because now that their body is cleaned of those carcinogens, they seem to be super sensitive, like I am, to smells and toxins, and their body rejects it instantly. So take a good look at your dogs and cats and think, oh my gosh, what am I going to clean and how toxic is it going to be for them? And that includes, to this day, they changed the formula in the Swiffer products, but I still don't use them. You know, just there's so many other options available, and I don't want to promote one over another because we all have our favorites. But and using essential oils can be really useful for cleaning if you do that with the guidance of someone who knows a lot about essential oils and can point you in the right direction of which ones to use and how to use them and how to dilute them. So thanks for joining us today for our talk about a stinky situation. Hopefully everyone is recovering from that giant storm we had on the East Coast. Things are looking a little better, but we have another storm that was on the West Coast moving its way out here for Tuesday and Wednesday, or Thursday, I'm not sure. And tomorrow and Wednesday we'll be at our jobs as educators, right, Tristan? So we will not be doing conversations with a corgi. And everybody, I hope your favorite Oscar nominees win this evening. We might not even be watching the Oscars, but as my friend pointed out, she loves hearing the speeches, the acceptance speeches, and seeing who they thank and how grateful people are to the people in their lives that have helped them. And she really views the Oscar evening as a time of people's gratitude for the success they've had. And that's a great way to view the Oscars. I always look for that myself now if I'm watching them. And we used to have Oscar parties, and it was really fun. So, thanks for joining us. Open some windows. Air out your house. Oh, Joyce is washing her own dogs today. Good luck, Joyce. I don't have a sprayer, and it's always a challenge to rinse my little corgi under the shower in the bathtub. But he's so soft and snuggly when he's clean. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Tuesday. Everybody have a great day.